What's up guys, and welcome to this Tamiya Mantaray build video. Today I'm going to tell you how you can win this kit. Just hang around to the end and you'll find out. This is the 2018 Mantaray, based on the original Mantaray. As you can see, the kit is pretty much identical. The only major difference that I've noticed is the wheels are grey instead of white. Which may result in me painting it a slightly different color than I would of the original. As with any Tamiya RC build, and pretty much all RC builds, you got to start with building differentials, which totally makes sense given that they're the most inward part of the RC car. So if you want to win this Tamiya Mantaray, this video is sponsored by radiocontrolled.com and radiocontrolled.co.uk, where we will be giving away one RC car every 2 months. This is the first in a series of Tamiyas that we will give away. So all you have to do is head over to our YouTube channel, subscribe and follow and like this video, and you'll also find a short that talks about the competition. All you have to do is say which color you think we should paint this vehicle, and the options are Nardo Grey, very similar to the wheels of this RC, metallic yellow, metallic green, jet black, or metallic blue. And a few people have already suggested that we do a mishmash of different colors. So someone mentioned doing Nardo Grey, jet black, and the yellow, metallic yellow. Feel free to go crazy, but keep it within those 5 colors. I'd like to keep it quite simple, but you know, if lots of people are saying do multiple colors, then I will. So yeah, here I'm building out the rear gearbox. So normally the way these Tamiyas are built, you build the rear differential gearbox, mount a motor, then you build the front gearbox and differential, and then you put the suspension arms on, and then finally you put the shocks on, and then you mount the 2 ends onto the body. Here I'm just fitting the tires. This can be a bit fiddly. I tend to use a screwdriver to help you on with those. And then we're moving on to the suspension arms on the rear. This kit is, again, one of the kits that I've built many times. I built the top force, which is the same as the Mantaray, but it comes with a plastic tub body, and the top force comes with a carbon fiber chassis. So the top force is considered the more of the racing spec, like high end, and the top force evolution is above that. So yeah, if you want to spend a lot of money and get something that's super lightweight, I go for the top force or the top force evolution. Top force evolution comes with uprated shocks, and I think it comes with a brushless system, or definitely an uprated motor. The Mantaray, all of the parts are pretty similar, except the tub body and some of the drive shaft pieces. So the main prop shaft, or the drive shaft that goes from front to back, is kind of like a coat hanger in the Mantaray. It's pretty bad, and I think I'm probably gonna upgrade the drive shaft for the prop shaft. The other main difference is that I've already bought a upgraded kit for bearings. So some Tamiya kits come with plastic bearings. Those plastic bearings are really bad, and I would almost always choose. In fact, you can see the plastic bearings there in the bottom of the table, bottom of the screen. But I'm going straight into adding metal bull race bearings, so proper sealed bearings. Definitely worthwhile if you're even considering going to brushless on any Tamiya vehicle. You almost have to upgrade to bull race bearings because there's so much power coming through. You potentially could melt those plastic bearings. So definitely upgrade. The other thing I'd mention is that I'm using the Fast Tracks ratchet screwdriver. Definitely a lot easier to use. We sell them on our website, so go and check it out over there. I'll try and leave a link in the description. So guys, what color do you think it should go? I mean, I think yellow, 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 yellow. So the decal, the main decal on the back wing is yellow. The shocks are yellow. Here I'm just painting the TypeScript on the tire white. Kind of gives a bit of a extra finish to it. This is just a normal car tire paint pen. I've cut the nib so it's slightly more pointy and it can just pour the paint into the letters. Don't worry if you go over too much. When the paint dries, you can kind of scrape off the excess and you can leave it looking really pristine and perfect. Did all 4 of those and then waited for them to dry. And a couple of days later, then I scraped off the excess. So as I was saying, yellow Devil Sim logo across the back, yellow shocks, yellow body, could go all yellow. Nardo grey, same color as the wheels, kind of. Tamiya do a color that's similar. It's very similar to those wheels. So that could look really, really cool. I think jet black could look really cool as well. Black and yellow or black and gold, classic combination. We'll see, but you guys decide. You go over to the short and vote on what color you think it should be. Just putting together the suspension arms here and the C pieces. These hold the hubs and then the wheels clamp onto the hubs. This build took me around 4.5 hours, so around 2 or 3 sittings. As you can see, I don't change 3 times. Change my clothing 3 times just to build an RC car. So it was over the course of 3 days. As you can see, front and back are done. And moving to the shocks, the classic Mantaray yellow shocks. The hardest part of building the shocks, I'd say, is screwing the black caps on the end. You need to get a pair of pliers and some tissue or paper towel and wrap it around the shock shaft and then screw it on. You need to hold that really super tight so you can actually screw it on. There you go, doing it just there. And you need to screw them all the way on. Then I'm using the included Tamiya shock fluid, which is the right viscosity for the Tamiya Mantaray. Once you got the oil in, you can work the oil onto the shaft and get it to move a bit more smoothly. It does have these clamps so you can raise the ride height, although I kind of want to take them off so you can actually lower the ride height. I like my Mantaray and my top force to be as low as possible to the ground without scraping the floor. But in this instance, because this is a giveaway item, I'm just doing the whole complete build. If you're interested in buying any RC car, please do go and check out radio-controlled.com and radio-controlled.co.uk. The .com website is predominantly aimed at the USA and Australia, and the .co.uk website is predominantly aimed at the UK and Europe. We're slowly building out our stock and our partners. We've recently brought on DJI for audio, camera equipment, and drones. And hopefully at some point we'll have Tamiya. But at the moment we stock all of the best RC cars or cheap end RC cars from China. And we're slowly growing that out to include more and more range and higher quality products. So going back to the Mantaray build, pretty much the last thing before putting the body and the rolling chassis together is to do the steering. So you put the steering parts in. In this instance, I'm not putting in the servo. It's just going to be a rolling body that I'm building today. Putting together the steering gear, and then the front and back will then screw on to the main part of the body. One of the best things about Tamiya is the instructions. So all these instructions have the parts listed for each step down the side, and it's all to scale. So you can match up all the parts to the diagrams really, really easily, because the screws are at the same size as they are as the pictures in the instructions. Super useful. Just putting the bumpers on, almost there. And then the spoiler holder. Putting all the bearings in. And then the last step is to get the wheels on. These wheel hexes are kind of annoying, so the axle pins go on through the axle, and then you slot on these hexes to hold it to go inside the wheels. You can get metal upgrades for these to bolt on over the axle pins and hold the pins in place. That's really useful and makes it a lot easier to take the wheels on and off. As I mentioned earlier, I'm just picking off the excess paint on the tires to get it a bit more neat around the lettering. And then finally adding the pieces that hold the body on. So the body pin clamps, if you want to call them that. It's starting to look really good. And then cutting the body out. Always cut the body out before you paint it. Otherwise, you'll end up scratching the paint off when you cut the body. Do advise using specific scissors, as I am here. Really helps in getting the body cut out properly. It's really, really hard with normal kitchen scissors or non-specialist scissors. Cutting the wing out. And we're almost there. And then after this, what I'll do is I'll file down all of the edges so everything's smooth using really high grade sandpaper. And there you go. Tamiya Mantaray.